Yep, step. Check, check, check. How's my audio right now? Good morning to everybody. Death Trooper, Von Cody, Bacon Wrangler, Captain, Via Nocturne. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. How's everybody? Excited for IAE to begin. Hey, still Mary, got your Vanguard and your Gladius that will be going to Fleet Viewer this weekend. Those are all essentially done. I'll probably be showing some of that stuff off too, actually. If you want, we'll be able to show some of that in chat. Hey, there's VMXEO, my good friend hanging out with us. VM, how you doing, buddy? Salute to you. After they unveil the new Drake ship, I was going to show off the Fleet Viewer renders for that, VM. Not the cutaways, by the way, just the regular Fleet Viewer images. As everyone knows, we've been working hard on getting Fleet Viewer assets, Fleet Viewer assets ready for updates throughout the event. I'm hoping that Starlet will be available to push out updates on the new Drake ship as well as the Corsair maybe tomorrow. Maybe later today. We'll just see. You know, she's on a completely different time schedule for us, though, so it's sometimes it's a little tricky. But we'll work it out. Starlet's always willing to kind of jump in. Just so everyone knows, I'm going to flip over to my other panels. I've got a couple setups here with both the left screen here, which we are waiting for this video to go live. So we're waiting on this video to go live here in 8 minutes. It's going to be a new Drake video. We'll watch that together if you want to watch it with me. You don't have to watch it with me. I know how that can be sometimes. You just want to watch things in a silo, but it's up to you. We're going to watch it here and we'll respond to that. And then we'll click over to the Roberts Industries website. We'll go through what their offerings are on packages and new ship deals and stuff like that. Pretty sure I am logged in, got some store credit ready to go here. Got about $1,000 in store credit that we can use on some new stuff. And we can always switch over to hanger.link if we need to. Hey, quick note for everyone that's possibly watching right now. I'm going to be doing the first of several giveaways. The first of several giveaways throughout IAE. One of the first ones will be for something really cool that a lot of creators don't do giveaways for, and that is a Track IR system, which is the Pro setup, which comes with both the Track IR camera and the headset, which connects to your headphones. It gives you all the stuff that Tobii Eye Tracker does, but in my opinion, does it a little bit more precisely. I've used Track IR for about a decade at this point, and I've used Tobii Eye Tracker as well. I like them both. They're both great products. But I do think Track IR is more precise. And it also, because it's not darting around with your eyes, if you look over to another screen, your camera's not going out of control. So anyways, going to be doing Track IR giveaway. All you have to do to be entered in that giveaway is either to follow the channel or be a YouTube subscriber. That's all. You follow the channel on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. All right, here we're going to switch back to our full thing again. We're just kind of waiting for stuff. Let me catch up on chat a little bit here. By the way, what's everyone planning on getting this IAE? Are there anybody waiting to get the Kraken? Because I know the schedule is about. We do have a schedule that's going up, right? For that, do I have that pinned? I believe I have that pinned. Just a minute. So yeah, today Drake Kraken and the Kraken Privateer. Wave 1 will be at 8 a.m. Pacific, so here very shortly. So get ready if you're trying to buy a Kraken with store credit or a Kraken Privateer. I already own a Kraken, so don't need to go through that right now. Next wave will be at just 0 UTC and then 8 a.m. UTC. So let's see here. Sitting on the bench. Salute to everybody. Hey, how you doing, Ace Hambone? Salute to you. Hope you're well. I might have to reinstall the game. Capital, yeah, or Arrow. I do the same thing all the time, man. And sometimes it doesn't ever get uninstalled, but there's times where it's I'm definitely not Star Citizen gaming. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Vasily says Kraken is on my grind list. That's a great place to have it. It's a great place to have it. It's a great end-game ship. It's a really good ship to work to. And that would normally be my case with the Kraken. I got into a situation where I was able to get it, which is kind of a rare thing, ship that big. But yep. Death Trooper says I have 2 Krakens, so I shall pass. Understandable. Yeah, don't need any more than that, I don't think. Mr. Arrow says, waiting to get a pizza. CR has enough of my money. That's good. Everyone, we'll go ahead and tell you I am a little sick, so excuse the nose blows. Apologize. Jock Cop says, got a few plans, different possible fleets, but waiting to see what the galaxy turns out to be. Yep. I am currently working on the unnamed RSI ship for Fleet Viewer. A lot of people have access to the model, but it's not to the fidelity that Fleet Viewer needs, so it does need quite a bit of work, and I am doing that work. So, Mr. Arrow Capital's thinking about purchasing a 600i. Yeah, Arrow, I think there's going to be quite a few people that do that. Hey, Bingo Winchester's in chat. One of our regulars. Salute to you, buddy. Hope you're well. Captain Caveman in chat. We've only got about 3 minutes here for the video premiere. We'll watch that, by the way. So we'll watch that together for those of you that want to watch it with me. And if you do want to step away for a second in order to watch it on your own, just come on back when you're done. We're going to talk about it. Let's see here. Starlet broke my heart last night and informed me that I cannot CCU my character Kraken. That is probably true. Starlet knows more than probably everyone about this stuff. So, yeah. Everyone, we're going to switch over. So it looks like the Cutter starter pack is $45. Okay, we're going to get to that in just a second here. But we're going to switch over to the video here. We're waiting to see the video. As soon as that's live, we'll watch that. And then we'll go to the IAE thing, and we will see what Drake has to sell. All right, shouldn't be too long now. I probably should do an audio test, though. Let's see here. But either way, I know there's a lot of people streaming, so I appreciate everyone hanging out with us at this time. It's good to have my the Starjump community, my community, Ender's community, all hanging out together. We may not have the biggest crowd, but I think we got one of the most quality crowds when it comes to communities. So, all right, premiering in 60 seconds, everybody. 60 seconds. I'll probably have my face off this way so I can see it because I have that on another monitor. Hopefully you have audio. Hello to everyone popping in chat. I hope everyone is well. 2 minutes warning. Morning group. Hey, Stoicus. Hope you're well. Salute to you. We're streaming on both Twitch and YouTube today, folks. Twitch or YouTube. Bingo, I believe a Dragonfly is probably too long for the Cutter unless they get those tucked into cells working. Don't know if they're going to do that. By the way, I'll make this video big once it kicks over, everybody. So yeah, I am seeing some leakage talking about we're going to go ahead and get actually real quick. Just going to pop this over. I believe Star Citizen's about to launch too. We're going to get to that. We're going to watch this IE video first, though, and then we'll switch over and look at the other stuff. Yeah, it says it's going to begin shortly, so we're just waiting. Let me switch over to Twitch real quick. Stream starts in 30 seconds. What should we be watching? Should we be watching YouTube or Twitch? Someone fit a Pisces inside of a Corsair. Really? Did it fit? Is that serious, Fia? That is cool. Let's see what we got here.
I like how we're on the show floor. Very exciting.
Says everything's good? You sounded really... Hold on.
Isn't that white light?
Can everyone hear that?
Let it keep going.
I'm pretty sure that white light should be red.
I'm just going to double check.
I'm going to switch over a couple times, see if the video on YouTube goes live. I don't know why they premiere both of these at the same time, but...
One at a time.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Up there? Yeah. Because all the others are red.
Yeah. Okay.
I like
it's like a red field. You're not allowed this side of the.
air shield.
Yeah.
All right. So Tom, we're not going to do a formal intro of this. We're going to do kind of a cold open kind of thing. So we just start with cutting, and then I'll do the intro after we're done with like the first talking point.
So, how do we defeat Superman?
How do we kill Superman?
Yeah.
Must kill Superman.
We are going to punch over here a couple times and see if...
Isn't it that? You do that. You're like talking like that. And then
Show me the 4 shots real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I see we got a few minutes before that video starts.
Okay.
I feel like we should just have that.
All right. I just want to make sure the Chiron was on all 3.
That's a really good
point.
Good spot.
I like to see my face.
Let's not start on the wide, at least for this. All right, so what does make a good spaceship? Just in general, what makes a good spaceship?
Unequivocally, the interior layout of the ship. Just straight up, it is. It's the interior layout.
Hang on though. Does that just discount single seat ships? Are they just not good spaceships?
Well, they're fighters.
They're terrible.
They've got a great layout.
There's less to think about.
Fighters are still spaceships, though.
They're not important. It's the big things.
Okay, everyone, we might
the
switch back
question-
and
the
forth a
question
little bit
should be
here
like-
just for a minute.
The question should be what's the best spaceship for what you want to do?
Let's go ahead and watch this IE video because it's about to start, and then we'll go back to the chat. That's all right with everybody. No Corsair on the upgrades page. What the fuck? Well, that might be happening. That might be happening. Let's wait and see. All right, let's watch what this Drake 1 video, and then we'll switch right back to the Twitch chat, everybody, and we'll start looking at, what upgrades are available on the Robert Space Industries website. Is there no audio on this? Stand by. Why is this have no audio?
Across this vast
the chat.
empire of stars.
That's all right with everybody.
As such, I want you all to meet the 2952 Cutter from Drake Interplanetary. Oh yeah. This ship embodies those ideals that we are truly democratizing spaceflight.
Who needs to hire talent when the aerospace CEOs are dying to get on camera? Hey, Jimmy?
Welcome to IAE, everyone.
It's all about the hard-working people of the UEE. That's why we're excited to sponsor the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2952. See you in Stanton.
Andon Arden, CEO of Drake.
What in the unholy hell? They think I'm dead?
I knew he wasn't dead.
Unbelievable! Bob! I cannot believe that they moved on without me. After everything I did for them. Would a call have killed them? Oh, hey, Jax, do you want to come back, host the show? Sorry, Jax can't take your call because he's dead. Bob! Bob, now, I need to take the Corsair.
Good one.
Now, I came out here to get inspired, and I've just been hanging around, tending to my garden, and pillaging and plundering with you lot.
Are you talking to me?
You don't understand, Bob. My bosses have killed me off screen. Yeah, I've got to get back to Stanton. Is this ship flight ready?
Whoa! Whoa, Jax!
But you can't have my ship.
Oh, come on, Bob, you owe me. You stole my Odyssey right when I got to Pyro.
But you stole it back.
And crashed it.
And crashed it.
Well, fair point. Did the boys already chop that new Drake cutter?
No, I told you I'm keeping that one. I kind of like it. Handle's nice.
Bob, please.
No.
Well, it's just sitting there.
You know what, Jax? Fine. If it'll keep you out of trouble for a while, you can borrow the cutter.
Thank you, Bob.
I said borrow.
Thanks, Bob.
Jax!
Bye.
Don't fly angry!
Their motion capture's gotten really great. Yeah, I knew Jax was alive. Why would they kill him? They've invested so much energy into him.
Jax McCleary here. Obviously, I'm not dead. Just thought you should know.
Salute to you. Hope you well.
To stand. Here we go! Okay. Throttle's over here. Interesting. That does make a little bit more sense. Okay. Here we go.
It's a cool little ship, man. I like it. Well, that was it on that. Let's switch off of Info Runners. Let's switch back to this.
On what the goal is to achieve with the ship. So performance matters, but what performance matters depends on what the ship's for.
Right. It's like, you judge a ship based on what it's intended to do.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Amos. Appreciate
what
it.
you want it to do.
Exactly.
Like we were just talking about this way out. Like there's that movie A Knight's Tale. Remember that one with Heath Ledger and everything?
Yeah.
It's not the best movie ever made, but it's perfect at doing what it set out to do. Like when you consider all that it's supposed to be in its place, like it is a flawless movie from beginning to end. Shout out to Heath. All right, so welcome everybody. Don't know. I'm really good at this. Welcome everybody to Star Citizen Live, the IAE 2952 Super Talk Spectacular. I didn't name it before we decided to film. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and if you've never seen a Star Citizen Live before, it's where we take about an hour, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, out at the end of our week, and we discuss some aspect of Star Citizen's continuing development. On the show this week, to celebrate this year's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2952, we have got 6 esteemed members from our vehicle teams. We've got Vehicle Director, Mr. John Crew.
Hello.
We've got Dave Colson. I don't even know what your title is these days. Senior programmer, who's he futzel?
Vehicle programmer.
Vehicle programmer from the content from the feature and experience teams. Corey from the ship content team, helping to build out the art. Ben, art director from the content team. Mark, design, and Henry. I was doing so good. I got to the
Last hurdle, Jared. Last hurdle.
Henry, this is your first time appearing
Jax is
on
full
camera
pirate
for
mode
anybody,
now.
so
So I saw the
what do you
Corsair
do?
there.
I'm Henry. I'm a vehicle artist. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. Thank you. Henry was kind enough to be a last-minute replacement to fill in. So literally, thank you for. We literally grabbed you about 5 minutes before we started filming and just pulled him in. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll be on the film. So we are in the IAE. Just technically launched today, this is going on in the Microtech Convention Center. It's your chance to explore
We're gonna go check
almost
out the
every
cutter in
single
just a little
ship
bit,
and
everybody.
vehicle that Star Citizen has to offer. On Inside Star Citizen yesterday, we talked a bit about the 600i rework and a bit about who Drake is, and introduced the brand new Drake cutter. Next week on ISC, we'll be talking about even more spacecraft, some that you know about, like the Polaris and the concept rework for the interior that's going on, and then ships that you're not supposed to know about, but maybe if you went to Reddit, you already do. But we're not going to spoil that here for those who are staying pristine. So on our Inside Star Citizens will be where we'll talk about all the new ships and give all the information and stuff like this. Today, here on the show today, we want to talk more about the process of making ships. What makes a ship good? which we just talked about, how we go about making them, the considerations that go into that, and just overall a bit about the process. The Star Citizen project has grown by leaps and bounds over the last several years. We used to do a show called Ship Shape, where we educated about the entire pipeline and how ships move through it. We haven't done that in a while, but since those days, we have gained a whole lot of people. So for some of our long-time viewers, some of this might seem repetitive.
Yeah, Cutter's only $45. Corsair up to $250 now.
We got a lot of new folks, and maybe, as all things, the only constant is change. Maybe the pipeline's changed a bit, the process has changed a bit, so we'll see if we can't educate a bit. I see Corey now. He's like, yeah.
We're talking about how ships are made real quick. We're going to mute for just a second. We're going to go and check out the Drake page real quick. So currently they have the Drake Cutter. We'll open that link up. Drake Cutter, power to the people. We made the Cutter for you. We all know about this ship based off ISC yesterday. It is a Drake starter ship. Some really cool images here. I think it's going to be a great little, Xenothreat Ninetales ship. Yeah, I like it. It's got a lot of personality. Here's an orbit of it. Obviously, it's got VTOL engines rotated up and down. Oh, cool. Are those windows in the back? That's really cool. We do have Fleet Viewer renders for this. I'll put them up here. Here are Fleet Viewer renders for the Drake Cutter. This will be going on Fleet Viewer soon, as well as Corsair. I still got to get some updated Corsairs from VMXEO, but he's working on that. But yeah, Cutter looks amazing. Love it. Very nice. I agree. Very, very nice. I was surprised at how glossy the Corsair looks, but it looks like that on the website too. It's kind of interesting. So let's get to the prices. Let's get to the good stuff here. So it is 20 meters long, 16 meters wide, 6 meters high, 4 SCU, 2 times S2 gimbaled. It's got 2-time dual racks with S size 1 missiles. War Bond is $40, plus you get the groundswell paint, which is a concierge paint if you're concierge. But they also have the standalone ship War Bond for $40 for everyone else, and the IAE version, which I'm assuming is the non-War Bond, you can get with credit at $45. Yep, that's it. They have a couple paints here. They have the 2-paint pack, 3-paint pack. So there's the groundswell paint, the light beam paint. I actually like the light beam paint a lot, as well as the windshield paint. I actually really like all the paints. You can get the concierge 3-paint pack for $8, $8.80 US, or the non-concierge 2-paint pack for $5.10. Looks like you can do upgrades on it. So you can upgrade some ships to it. It might be something people want to do. I think you'd be getting a really nice ship with the CCU. Let's go back. And then they obviously have the Drake Corsair. Let's see what this is all about. Very cool. Love the look of that thing. The Corsair's got such a cool profile. How many people are getting the VMXEO is literally working on the Corsair right now. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Everyone, the Starjump team, hard at work all the time. And Starfab team. Yeah, it's just a cool looking ship. It's something about its forward, angular, aggressive kind of look that I think is really cool. Take a look at some of the promo pictures. I always like doing that. You can't fit that Ursa in the back. I don't think the Drake Corsair could land on ground that uneven. Showing the kind of internal area, which is really cool. I love when they bring a little bit of life to the environment like that. Here is a 3D rotation of the Corsair. It's interesting rendering though. It's like super glossy. There's our Drake Corsair, though. Long-awaited ship. One of my favorite, obviously. Kind of in my top 5 favorite ships list. So really excited that it finally came out. It's going to be my daily driver do think it needs a few little fixes, but I do think they'll get to that. All right, so let's talk about our specs here. I believe the ship is still is now 52.5 meters long, so actually a little shorter than the concept length of 55 meters. Ship war bond for the Corsair is 225. Non-war bond is 250, so it did go up in price a little bit. I believe Bingo knows the original price. Bingo, what was the concept price of the Corsair originally? Again, you're getting a good deal for the ship. I put this right up there with the MSR in terms of bang for buck. You're getting a lot for a decent price. Arrow says 120, 125. Was it 125 really? Was it that low? No. It couldn't have been that much. Maybe the original concept. Do we know how much it was before it went flight ready? They're also selling a 2-pack, which is kind of cool. War Bond, you get Dragonfly Black and a Corsair for $250. Great deal. Essentially getting the Dragonfly for $25, and then non War Bond $275 for that 2-pack. Bingo says $215. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. They have a couple paints here. Pretty cool. Love all the paints. So they have a 3-paint pack. And then they have, the Eternity paint, the Commando paint. I love all the paints, actually. And then the Hinterland paint. Hinterland's my favorite. That's the one I'm going to use all the time. I love that. That was a paint that was originally in the Jump Point the subscriber vault for the original Drake Corsair concept liveries. Paul Jones did one that was in this Hinterland paint. So I'll probably be getting that one. It says here limited time war bond offer. Let's check out what this is. So this is you can get the war bond ship by doing an upgrade to it. So I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah. In addition, I'm assuming that the Drake Corsair, or not the Drake Corsair, the Vulture is up for sale. Let's look at those ships. So all the goodies are available. All the Drake ships. I wanted to look at specifically the Vulture. So the Vulture showing at 140. Great deal for that ship. Obviously, it's a starter ship as well, or a profession starter, but it's going to be bringing on. Those, the first iteration of salvage. So that's going to be a big deal for a lot of people. Von Cody, I was a little sad that there was no concierge paint for the Corsair. I was desperately hoping for a black and gold executive concierge paint, but it looks like we didn't get that. Let's see here. Yeah, Vasily, you're not wrong on that. I'm not. When I play Star Citizen, though, I never play it to be in a rush to do anything. I had Orson as my home for a long time. It took that long flight out of there. To me, it's a game I play at a slower pace. I like hunting for good landing zones and all that type of stuff. So for me, it works, but I 100% think you're right. It has some handicaps in that regard. Shimpasa says, do you think the Vulture will go up in price? I think so when it goes flight ready. I wouldn't be surprised if it went up to like 160. Yeah. Buccaneer, obviously, I'm thinking about grabbing one of these for store credit. Caterpillar, Corsair, obviously, Cuddy Black. We're really at a place now with the Vulture coming out in 318. We're at a place now where the only Drake ship not out is the Kraken. That's it. They do have Kraken here. I'm sure it's out or sold out. They also have the Drake Complete Pack. Yeah, it looks like he can't even add it to the cart. So let's switch back over to Twitch here, though.
Make sure that what we think works visually actually works from a gameplay point of view. And make sure it flies, make sure thrust is in the right position, make sure
the Ever Popular does
when I open this door, does it actually stay within the ship?
Yeah, does it go outside the doors?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we actually have that test just to drag the ship around to make sure everything stays attached.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, once at the end of each kind of phase, we have like a review process where we sit down with everyone and get everyone in a room.
Yeah,
make sure
Vaughn,
we're all
Cody,
happy
maybe
with it.
we're going to get some more paints for
but
that. I'm
white
unsure.
boxes
I hope so.
basically,
Make it work.
we don't. I'm gonna hate
It's
myself.
base
So we don't really
functionality.
care what it looks like at that point. It's about making sure that we know what we're doing and it's all going to work. And then into grey boxes where we do most of the modelling, most of the artwork.
We don't care about what it looks like aesthetically, but we care about what it looks like as a basic representation for every aspect of the
We need to
ship,
get
right?
proportions right and everything in white box.
Yeah.
And
Now, at some point, even in here, I know it's not art complete, but designers start working on flight characteristics.
Oh, designers start day one.
Exactly. So while
Concept
white box
phase.
and gray box seems like it's just an art kind of thing,
Yeah.
it's you designers and programmers and stuff are still in there, flying around this ugly white brick.
Yep.
That's going on, right?
Yeah. I feel like I've
That's
undersold it.
kind
It's
of
not-
cool.
it's
They
not
work
that
on
bad.
those flight characteristics so early.
I mean, it's representative of what the final ship's going to look like.
I saw the Herald in white box. That was ugly.
We have to be involved from the beginning because certain things have massive impact. So like with the flight, it's something you have to consider from day one, like from the concept phase, because thruster positioning and location makes a huge...
I knew he was going to bring it up.
Well, you shouldn't have mentioned it. It's fresh on my mind. It makes a huge impact, the actual locations on ships. So saying that we need a thruster closer towards the wing could change the way that the concept work's going to work for the entire ship. So it's something that has to be considered the whole way around. Like there are multiple teams that give feedback during the actual concept phase to make sure it's going to work. Because if we put all the concept art puts all the thrusters down the center spine of the ship, it's never going to work. It just won't. So
We'll go really fast in one direction.
Yeah, but you won't be able to turn.
No, you're going to turn. That's fine.
I mean, if you want Harold, sure.
Yeah.
But like, so
You can't change the thruster positions on the Herald, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not going to happen.
I can't change the back one, but I can change all the others.
You can change like the maps and that.
What if we change the Herald to go back to being asymmetrical? Then
Well,
I'd be
we just
alright
put
with
giant sticks coming off the side of it and attach the thrusters to it.
I feel like just make another ship. No, it's not that bad.
all right, so white box, gray box, what comes after that?
Lot 0. So it used to be
I was
Final
very
Art
good downloading the
would be
game again.
next
Makes
phase that
sense.
we've moved on to, but we found that the amount of things that got put into Final Art from an art perspective was so vast that we having it
have
all as
mine
one
as-
phase meant a lot of things bled over into each other, and it had a knock on for other downstream teams like the audio team, the VFX team,
Tech art as well. It's like-
and tech art,
Yeah.
because theoretically they could get involved in doing their work earlier, but they didn't know when certain criteria had been met. So
Coming
we
along.
drew a new line down Final Art and split it into Lot 0 and Final, so that basically the end of Lot 0 is when the other teams can then start getting involved and do more of their work, and it just means they don't have to get involved immediately. but it gives
Appreciate
them a
that,
lot
It's a very polite
Drake.
way of
Appreciate it.
basically these two making sure that I don't make changes right at the last minute.
Yeah, basically.
I wasn't going to say it.
Like,
I wasn't going to say it.
let's not be around it.
I wasn't
It was
gonna say-
basically, it makes us sign the ship off at the earliest possible opportunity so
Yep.
that it can unlock other people from doing their work. And I can't commit at the last minute and be like, do you know what? It'd be
Just
really-
to stop that art director toilet getting.
Yeah, it is basically
Yeah,
that. is it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Turn into
Can we
true
just
control.
move that
Left,
wall
left
just a
to
little
right,
bit?
left to left.
And yeah.
And for folks who, again, for many people, this is going to be their first conversation, discussion of the ship pipeline. LOD.
LOD, level of detail, is basically like you take your geometry, so your 3D model for the ship, duplicate it, and then smush it down, like optimize it more. You do that a few times, and basically going to really
Less complexity, right?
Yeah, as the further away you get from it in space, it will transition to the next LOD, right? So it's basically a way of optimizing.
Yeah,
the
via
matches that
Nocturne. We're
gets
going to
further
log
away
in
from
here
the camera.
shortly and check that out as
Lot 0
well.
is the highest quality one. So
Yeah.
if you've got your face
Yeah.
up against this
Exactly.
table, you see
Yeah.
everything. You step 2 meters back, and these ridges in the table won't be modelled anymore. They'll be flat.
Yeah, and also if, for example, we do LODs on something, and then we get feedback about it, it kind of makes those LODs redundant, right? So you really want Ben to be like, Ben, we're not doing any changes to it after we've done LOD 0, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's your last chance to say change this, because we're going to move on to basically all these like destructive processes that mean you can't really go back from that point.
It's definitely an intervention.
I was going to say, it looks like
Bear in mind, right, Corey joins the team, and within about 2 weeks, he's like, right, we need to talk about the pipeline. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, we need to change this. And yeah, it's much better. It's much better for team health, much better for scheduling and everything else. So
we're trying stuff. This is all stuff we're noodling with. It's not like this is the way. Like I'm not coming in like and just being like, oi, you know.
So
these are suggestions of things to try.
The situation you could get into, right?
Dictatorship.
The situation you could get into is that you make like 4 different versions of the ship geometry. And then myself or Mark come along and be like, that thruster's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you now need to redo that area of geometry for 4 different versions.
Yeah,
and you need to redo it.
Yeah, like some things, are easy. Like, because again, as you go down through the log chain, you're making the ship less and less detailed. And so, if by the time you get to like lot 4 and 5, like moving things around a little bit.
Talking about ship optimization, obviously reducing the mesh count,
you get as these things kind of change.
or the poly count of the mesh, and all that kind of good stuff. Like, that's something that has to happen. There's even hollow models that are not
icing on the cake
optimized.
in terms of like where it is in the production pipeline, but it's also like the least fun and the most tedious part of the production pipeline.
Take this beautiful favorite ship and make it look worse, and make it look worse than that.
Yeah,
make it look worse than that.
Yeah, and it's it's quite therapeutic sometimes. But
Do you want to do all the logs then?
No.
Henry
was kind of sent me off.
Yeah, you're the newest member of the team here, and it's like this. So this pipeline that's being developed is pretty much the only pipeline you've worked in here, anyway, right?
Yeah.
What are your opinions on it so far? Do you this is a safe space. This is a safe space.
I'm between you, don't worry.
What do you think of the pipeline so far?
I think, I was working on props before and had somewhat similar pipeline. There's a lot more technical aspects that go into it on the vehicle side, and it seems like it works. And there's a lot of, what's it called? Room for conversations about stuff during the pipeline, which I think is very good, honestly. I don't know what to say bad about it. I'm learning about it, and it seems, it does its job, that's for sure.
You get past. You get past.
Have we completed a ship in this new pipeline yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cutter, right? Is it cutter?
I don't think we did the planning in
Was
that
it
way.
the
For the cutter.
CAR.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
We are allowed to.
The cutter, yes.
No, the other one.
No. Well,
Well, we said it.
The one that's going to get blipped.
No, that other one gets formally revealed next week.
Okay, yeah.
Next week.
we've done a variant of a ship. Variant, Mark, right? Not variant. It's a variant, isn't it? It's not a.
It's a variant.
Oh, the new variant. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't talk about that one.
Yeah, don't worry about that. But yeah, so basically, like this is just kind of things that I learned.
Talking about a possible new pipeline, we may have missed that earlier, but that'll be something I want to go back and listen to.
Push the pipeline forward there, and it's just kind of stuff that I found worked for that team.
They're probably talking about the Galaxy and the C8R
on the vehicle
era.
team, basically. And seeing
I've seen
what
a
works.
trend here because I left the props team. You remade the pipeline.
Sorry.
You then come to the shit. I'm like, hang on a minute. I must have been doing something wrong.
No, it's
just Corey's following.
I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, like
And fixing their mistakes.
Yeah. Beating them down with a hammer.
So David, you're here as representative of the former vehicle experience, the current vehicle feature team.
We live a bit outside of this content pipeline.
I was going to say, where do you come in and out of this pipeline here?
We actually are largely independent of the pipeline because
shows.
There's a few. The first reason is that we tend to try our best.
Good morning.
To not
Hope you're well, buddy.
do code work
Salute
for
to
every
you.
single ship, just because there's loads of ships and it would be unfeasible to do so. So we sort of live
Hope you're well.
adjacent
Hope you're
to the
well.
pipeline, doing things to support it every so often. So that could be making tools to help designers, or a new piece of tech that you can integrate to the ship to make the doors open differently. I don't know, something like that, right? And so we interact with
they break for us.
Exactly. we interact with the pipeline in the sense that we're trying to support it functioning, right? Most recently, for example, we made this tool that shows the designers why certain thrusters are being used in a certain way, which was received pretty positively, so that was good. So for example, the way the flight system works is it'll take the positioning of the thrusters that the artists have done, and it'll try and automatically put them into groups to use them for certain things. So when you like fly left, it has a list of thrusters where it's like, oh, I need to fire these thrusters when you go left. And that process is automatic, and the designers very often found that the thrusters were in odd groups and they didn't know why. So now there's a tool that shows them these thrusters are in this group and these are the reasons, and it's usually because, oh, you've rotated this thing in the model incorrectly or something like that.
So it thinks it's in the wrong direction.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true.
Thruster facing inside.
I mean, it was a nightmare having to go through the entirety of the XML and find out where we'd accidentally randomly put X or Y or a minus instead of a positive, and there was no real good feedback for it. So we'd have to just comb through the whole thing and try and figure out what wasn't firing or why it was pointing that way.
Thousands of lines, and as far as the game knew, you intentionally put it that way.
Because you're telling it that.
Because, you said fire down the x-axis. It didn't know that you wanted it down the y instead, so it's like...
So you can overwrite it in this file, but...
if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do it.
Well, if it's pointing in the wrong direction, like physically pointing in the wrong direction, it won't fire if the implementation file has it in the opposite direction, because there's a degree of functionality with it as well for how far away from the angle it can point. But then that was the other problem. So if we were 1 degree too far on a fixed thruster or something, it then wouldn't fire, despite the fact that it was correct positive X and Y, because the angle wasn't the right angle. That's it wouldn't fire, and we wouldn't know.
So now there's a tool that tells you.
Now there's a tool that tells you when the thrusters aren't working.
Legendarily renowned for being really good at naming things. Does this tool have a name?
It is called the thruster group debugger. It's very posh. We didn't call it something like, I don't know, Jackson or...
Yeah.
It's just functional name.
Right. So while we're talking about thrusters here, there's always one of the things that Chris has been known to say from time to time, we repeat often, is you take it to the point of realism, and then you bring it back to the point of fun. How real is real when it comes to these spaceships? How obsessed or concerned are we with making sure everything is as accurate scientifically or physically as possible? And how much do we just like rule of cool some stuff and be like, no, I just like the way that looks, so you just hand waving them and make it work?
It depends on the ship, really. Like,
depends who you ask as well. Ben's a very rule of cool person, and you keep having to reel him in.
I just want Jeffrey's tubes. That's all I want is Jeffrey's tubes. I'm not allowed them.
Not real. Why aren't we allowed Jeffrey's tubes?
Sorry,
I'm not getting into this conversation again. not on live recording.
We'll speak for an hour about Jeffrey's tubes now.
We could.
If you look at the...
Wait, we could have Jeffrey's tubes, or we could talk...
No.
No Jeffrey's tubes. If you look at the Hornet, that's a really good example of thruster layout for what a real spaceship would be, in that it's got a big thruster at the back, it's got 2 retros that are in line with it, and then the maneuvering thrusters are all equally spaced around it. So it's basically just...
very functional.
It's a cube with a spaceship dressing on it. So that's like real spaceship. But if we want every spaceship to be like that, that's sort of the perfect layout, which means every ship's thruster layout has to be like that, just on a scale, which means the Gladius here is good. I don't know, this one, hopefully everyone knows what a Gladius looks like. Those thrusters aren't in line like they are on the Hornet, they're spread out because of the shape of the wings. So technically that's less perfect, less real, but it looks, in my opinion, cooler than a Hornet. And it's like that on every ship. We always try and make sure, and I'm pretty sure we have in every instance, but I'm not going to 100% confirm that every ship has enough thrusters to believably do what it's supposed to do. And they may not be in the scientifically correct place. Like if you look at the 400i, there's thrusters there to move it, but they could be in a better place, but that would mean changing like the toothbrush nose of it. The snout. And that's where the rule of cool compromise comes in. And that's different for every ship.
The decisions that were made in the design of the flight system is such that we tend to forgive imperfections with regard to the balance of things. So, the thrusters, their positions do matter, as just a minute. Mark has made it clear. But if you, for example, have a slight imbalance versus the front and the back of the ship, the system will ignore the imbalance. But you do kind of need to be sensible, because there is a point where you can do something kind of dumb and it won't fly.
I think it's very good at mirroring real life in that way anyway, because like I would think, with our advancements in technology as a race, like we could probably come up with the perfect automobile, right?
We are going to
the car
log
that is the most
in.
efficient, can drive the first, whatever. But if you look at cars on the road, like most of them are different. And I think there's always a point in real life
Space and
where
life for variety.
Yeah, a decision has been made to be like, okay, like we could do it like that, but this way just feels better. This way's nicer. We as a collective, we prefer it. Like
Everyone, is this window arrangement okay? We'll have the Twitch ship team talk up, and then
I
we'll
want to
go
also
check out
give
the
shout out
IAE
to
show floor.
the realism with regard to the way ships animate and move. A lot of, like you mentioned earlier, the way doors move and animate all of it is not faked. There's just like physical space to how everything moves. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Which is
nothing disappears into.
Yeah, well, what you were
magic
mentioning
voids.
earlier, which is like you start white boxing and you're kind of walking through the ship and it's like, oh yeah, done the doors and everything. And you're like, cool, just put it in like the outside camera and open the doors. It's like, oh, okay, all right, because we
stickler for that.
Yeah,
making sure everything fits.
We can hide stuff. Like if we wanted to, we just don't draw it when it goes into the wall. But we want to make sure, like,
want to sell it.
Yeah, we want to sell the dream, and
Those are the sorts of details that you can notice a lot of the time, and especially when you've got lots of things that are like breaking the laws of physics in subtle ways. The more they build up, the more it sort of breaks that
Too many
sense of,
things open
this
right
is a real
now.
place I could be.
And it was a real struggling block in the past for a lot of our concept artists who have worked on other projects, and they were used to, it's just a movie set or it's just a TV set. So
I may have to
don't
close
care
some
where that door
windows
goes once
here.
it's opened.
Yeah,
it's gone. And now we're like, no, you need to account for this.
I had lots of conversations with Gurmak, with Jim Martin, with Dave Hobbins. It's like people who have made spaceships for Star Wars, for Star Trek. The Defiant, the Falcon, and stuff like this. And then they come here, and it's like, wait. The inside has to fit in the outside?
Yeah.
And it's like, it seems like such an obvious thing, but it's not a consideration that exists anywhere else. Not just in other video games, but in any of sci-fi.
It feels great when it does, though, because everything makes sense. As you're walking around the ship, why is it so thick? Oh, well, that's where the bulkhead door goes. Well, this wall's thicker than this wall. Yeah, but because that's an outside door. And it sells the realism of the ship more, which is so important that it feels like it could be a thing.
Yeah, I will tell a story without naming any names, but literally it was maybe my second week here back in 2015, and I'm watching somebody work on a ship, and I won't say the ship because it'll reveal, but
we might have some drop frames
they
here.
needed to put a door in.
Okay,
They put a door
we'll close
in,
some windows
and
here
the
in a
door
minute.
stuck out through the exterior of the ship and the neck. And I looked at him and I was just brand new. And I watched him go. He goes, oh. And then he just grabbed the door and he rescaled the door down, and moved on. And I was like, I'm new here, but that doesn't seem like that's going to be a viable solution down the road. And it did become a problem years later when it came time to actually build that ship. So yeah, it's a unique challenge for concept artists, even some of the great concept artists that come from these other. We have a tremendous array of concept
We're
artists.
going to head to the show floor. We're going to check out the Vulture.
But yeah,
I'm going to outfit my Corsair with the hinterland paint.
Is that the biggest challenge of making spaceships for Star Citizen? If you had to say what is the hardest part of making ships for Star Citizen? I'm imagining you've each probably got different stories, so I'm curious to hear what your different answers would be. What is the pain in the butt, the thing that the part of the process?
X-forms.
That's a technicality though, isn't it? Yeah.
Tell us what that is.
Yeah.
Looking the wrong
What are
way.
X forms?
I don't know, you tell me, you guys keep giving us them.
Basically, on an animated piece of geometry, every bone has like a position stored on it, and if you haven't oriented it correctly, that position is kind of stored in the, in the file, and it can like skew things. So like you might have a helper pointing the wrong way, so when something attaches to it, it's in the wrong orientation, or it might offset when it goes to its LODs, so something just flies out into space when it goes into the LODs, stuff like that, basically.
And it stacks on
exactly.
nested objects, so you can have them all like.
Yeah.
You have a big corridor section that's made of like 50
Let's
child
change the
objects.
paint on the cutter.
And there's an X-form issue on somewhere.
I'm going to use the light beam.
Everything beneath
I love
just
that
like
color.
If it transforms it like 1 meter off for the first child, and the next one's like 2
Let's
years
spawn the
long.
cutter first, see what it
So
looks
you
like.
just get this
And it
weird,
looks-
like,
Cascade, like
cascading
an array.
event horizon.
And it looks
Yeah.
fine in the max file.
Yeah,
So
when
you hit export, and
Yeah.
it goes in engine. It's
very bad.
it's like, oh,
But you
Hey,
can't
Wolf,
just
hope you're
look
well.
at the entity and go, oh, well, this
Did
is
not
the
get your
parent of it all,
Kraken.
so that's what's
Don't
wrong.
worry, there's
The
3 more waves,
entire
or there's
thing
2 more
breaks. You've got
waves.
to
There's 2
instantly
more
go
waves,
through
so it's
bit
not
by
over
bit.
yet.
The
You still have a chance
potentially
to get
fixable,
it
'cause there's
today.
no way to see if it actually
Just gotta
fixes
wait
it in
4
max,
hours.
Yeah.
because it doesn't show in max.
I think the biggest challenge is sort of.
I did
for
not
me
get
at least,
mine on
is
the
just
first
sort of
first go. I had to get it on the
scope
second
of
2 years ago. The second
the
wave.
ship as a whole, right?
First
There's
wave's
so
always
many
the
different
hardest.
moving parts, so many different bits and bobs, right?
Complicated.
Yeah, it's just very they're just very complicated, and because of their complexity, you know. you
Yeah,
have
there's
to be
still
very
2 more
attentive,
waves for the whole
and you have to
limited
make sure
ships,
that you don't
everyone.
miss
So if you're
any
trying to get it
details,
cracking,
right?
remember that first wave is
and it's very
always the hardest because that's when you have the most
you know,
people
and then
going for it.
It's a case of everyone
Then the
getting their
second
together,
wave,
they
there's a
might
little bit
invite
less
you
because
over,
all the
and you
first
need,
wave
you know,
people
someone
got
comes along
theirs,
and
and then
be
the
like,
third wave, a
"Oh,
little
okay."
bit
Someone
less.
else will look at it and they'll be like,
I mean,
So you still got a chance. Still got a chance.
Let's
go check out the cutter.
Right there.
and yeah, I think it's.
Yeah,
just,
Drake says
you
still,
can't track down what
third
you
wave's
do.
a charm.
It's basically like they're very complicated. That's it.
The waves are listed. Standby. Let me post the real quick. Let me post the.
Most of the ships probably. I don't come.
Stand by,
directly
everybody,
through
and
my
I'll
hands
get you that
because
information.
The tools that we've made for the design and art teams work, and
So the Drake Kraken wave. Here's the times for the waves. I'm going to post it.
And then there are some ships.
There it
that have
is.
Special, unique functionality, and these are the ones.
Okay,
these
let's
are
go
the ones
check
that
out
come through
the
my
cutter.
because
It's kind of funny, a little smaller than I thought.
This thing that we want to do, the ship does not work because there's no tech to do it, or the tech.
We're just going to mute our ship stream for a minute. They're just talking about general ship information. Here is the Drake cutter. Very cool little ship. I love this paint job. Drake, all Drake ships need to have these paint schemes, in my opinion. Did a small button for this. Nice big tall ramp. That's really cool. Yeah, I kind of wonder if it will fit in a Carrack. Just curious. Ramp won't close, but that's okay. Components. It's a little dark, but we're going to check it out some more. Let's check out the car. Oop. Okay, I just made a dumb move. Cockpit. I don't know why I hear like rain. Oh, I love the way the lights turned on. That was cool. Oh yeah, this thing's... Uh-oh, it's got an oil leak here. Yeah, this is a really cool little ship. I like it. I think it's a really cool ship. Pretty quick and spry, to be totally honest with you. Yeah, I'm digging it. Yeah, they put it in the biggest hangar ever. Okay. I'm hearing a weird sound. It's almost like there's a glitch or something. All right, we're going to go grab the Corsair and head to the... you can see the inside a little better now. Bathroom in here. Here's our bathroom. Oh, I love this little ship. This thing's so cool. Oh, inventory. Yeah, it's really cool. Storage. And then our hangar. Yeah, I love these little back windows. This is a cool ship. This is definitely a cool ship. This might be, I think, is just going to be my little runabout from here on out. All right, let's go back and grab the Corsair. Am I going the right way? I think I am, right? Yep. I dig the cutter, though. I really dig the cutter. I think it's a really great little... Am I really low on water? For God's sakes. I should have water on me, right? Apparently I have no water. Yeah, I think the hover quad would fit in the back of the hangar, yeah. Oops, wrong way. Oh, let's see. I mean, it's a tight fit for something like the Mule or something, but it looks like you can do it. It's not mine, is it?
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle.
All right, let's store the cutter and grab the Corsair. Okay, let's grab.
Vehicle selected. Stand by.
And then we'll go ahead to the IAE floor. And while we're in flight to the IAE, because I'm at Lorville currently, on the way to New Babbage, we'll turn the Twitch talk, ship team talk up. Hangar 10, alright. Good bunker combo then, yeah. Yeah, I think it would be a good bunker combo. It's such a tiny little ship, and supposedly it's really fast because of the size of the thrusters that, you know, I think you'd be able to get to places really quickly and stuff, so. I'm kind of glad there's not variants and it's just the ship. I love that I love when ships spawn in hangars that are like one level, you know, bigger than the actual ship. I wish they do that more. I do think the Corsair sits a little too low. I personally wish they would raise it. We currently have the Hinterland paint on there, which, damn, that's badass. I love that. I love that so much. So Drake, man. That color combo, it's just very, very Drake. Why is this not taking us up? Alright, well, we had to say we want to go to the roof, but that's okay. We'll go back down. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I had to say go to the roof to take us up, but whatever. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Bingo, they raised the 400i, so it's not unheard of. They've done that before. Okay. Here is that paint, everyone. Okay. Make sure my track IR is okay. All right, we will take off here. Get a nice view for our takeoff. My elevator is popping through the roof. Obviously, we have a little bit of an elevator issue. Not unexpected, to be totally honest with you. Turn our VTOLs down. And we'll rotate our wings out. Yeah, I love that paint job. That is my new paint job for sure. For all the Corsair doubters, I knew this ship was going to be awesome. All right, we are heading outbound here. Let me go ahead and plot a course. Yeah, it might make it a slightly easier target, but I think if you're close enough to see the paint, then it's all over anyway. I mean, you know, at that point, if you're close enough to see the paint, you know, things have already gotten bad for you. So, all right, we're heading outbound here. Bring up, so I'm above SAM speed. This ship flies like absolute garbage if you're over if you're over SEM speed. I'm sure some of you have figured that out by now. It's very nose heavy. But such a cool looking ship. Come on, man. It's the Drake Corsair. It's Drake. They don't get any more badass than that. All right, we're just heading out of atmosphere. Then we're going to head to New Babbage. In the meantime, we'll turn the audio back up on the Twitch talk.
Merchantman owners screaming now. But like, there is a big capital ship. Maybe there are smaller ships that would come sooner that add better value to the game.
It's got to be one of the most complicated bonds. Right?
Yeah,
it's the size of the 890, and it's for being a brand new ship. The art direction style is so much more than anything we've ever done. Like even with the 890, we had some origin stuff to go from with the 600. Yes, the style completely evolved over the course of the 890, but the Merchantman's it's not just a capital ship. It's an alien brand new Merchantman.
Pretty much every other capital ship in the game is human and is modular to some extent. Like you make one corridor piece, you've made 90% of the corridors in the ship. And with Merchantman, that's not true. Like
so much
every corridor is
it always the entire thing.
It needs that time and that, I have that expectation. Like
left alt and K for the wings is the default key.
It wouldn't be what we want.
It's cool.
Yeah, I did notice that, Von Cody. I love it. I think it's a nice piece of just,
try and reuse stuff, and we try and,
you know,
take the
personality
approach to it. But the Merchantman has like very little to pull from. But anyway, Merchantman done, right?
Wait, no, not Merchantman done.
Merchantman done. Sorry, right. Talking about the Merchantman is done. Sorry, Jared. Sorry. Talk about
no, Jaybird, I haven't tried voice attack, but I want to.
Other end of the scale, we've got, we kind of just wrapped up the, right, I'm allowed to talk about this a minute, yes. We've just wrapped up the cutter, and we've just wrapped up the course.
Oh, that's fine. I thought you were going to say the
Corsair. So those kind of resources are free back up. In terms of the people that are on the Corsair, they're moving on to doing some gold standard work on some squadron ships that will eventually lead to that work coming into the PU at a later date. And then we've got the other people that were working on the cutter. They've moved on to working onto the Spirit. So, you know, the Spirit is in early white box.
Spirit's in production, everyone. I know Ender will be happy.
Pretty well. We're focusing mainly on the bomber variant right now, but we are making sure we white box the VIP variant, because the VIP one is the one that's going to cause the most headaches. It's got multiple floors in a small space.
It's got an escape pod. Well, escape.
I don't know if we've actually announced that yet.
Oh, now we have.
Okay.
All right, the E1 has an escape capsule.
Escape raft.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the secret.
Escape raft.
Yeah,
Cool.
the secret.
That's really cool.
So yeah, there's a few technical and visual hurdles we need to tackle with that. So we're working through that at the moment. We're working on the links, thank you. The links, that's also in white box, again, early days. We've white boxed most of the interior and kind of going through the exterior at the moment. And although it's based on the Ursa kind of like chassis, I think the only real bit that's being reused is probably the cockpit, and even that will get some love. But yeah, there's like visually, it's going to feel as part of the same family, but will be a different vehicle altogether. We've got the SRV, which is going super good. It's kind of
final
trucking along for Argo. It's going through final art. It's I'd say about 2/3 of the exterior is final art.
I also own an SRV, so I'm going to have that probably permanently parked on my Kraken. Excited for that.
Oh, yeah.
Jaybird, the E1 is the executive VIP transport version of the Spirit, the Crusader Spirit.
Kind of like engineering section are both kind of progressing through Lod Zero, and it's just habitation area that's still kind of in grey box. What else?
The Vulture's got to be pretty much done.
Vulture, yeah, sorry, okay, yeah, so Vulture is pretty much ready to go. We're just really waiting on the salvage feature to be kind of completely ready for it. It has meant we've had to go back and make some adjustments to the interior, but they're like minor things, nothing major. So that's going good. The whole C is kind of with tech art. It's kind of, we're mostly art complete on it, but we need tech art to go in and do their kind of pass.
I also own a whole C.
Get it all moving, and once that's done, we can go through and do a final lighting pass and fix up any bugs. And
and I know there's discussions going on right now about, because the whole C, we talk like the Vulture with salvage. There are knock-ons that affect ships that aren't necessarily exclusively ship related.
Yeah.
Like the salvage gameplay is done by a gameplay team, and then gets kind of integrated into the ship. With the whole C,
in lieu of the Kraken, you'll keep your Carrack and get a BMM.
Yeah,
pretty solid. Pretty solid.
And basically, it's like you can't just dump it out there. And
pretty excited for the Kraken myself, but yeah, pretty solid.
Economy being done with the cargo refactor and all that stuff that has to feed into it. So I know there are a lot of conversations going on right now to make sure that when it does drop, it doesn't just destroy.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's it. There's things that's like say like pipeline internal, and then there's things that are game wide, and the whole C is one of those things that juggles both, unfortunately, or careers straight through both.
They're always the tricky ones as well.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we're ahead of those gameplay teams. Sometimes we're behind, and we always get the damned if we do, damned if we don't. Like, the ship could be ready, and in the past we'd have just released it without the gameplay, staff error. But now we try and not do that, but then it's the case of, well, hey, this ship's disappeared off the roadmap now, it must be done, so it's coming in the next patch, and it's like,
Gameplay's not ready.
And things like the whole C, that requires, it's like it's Halle on steroids, isn't it, basically, because that rear section,
table, isn't it?
Yeah, that rear section has, you can walk around it, which you couldn't do on the Halle, and that causes a whole lot of headaches. Lifts in moving. Anyway,
giant one physics grid that separates and becomes.
All right, Bingo, take it easy, buddy.
And like
we're just flying down to the show floor.
Like the pipe. Yeah, we want that to. I have quite high expectations for that. And so that unfortunately requires some additional work from the different teams to get that looking right and feeling right. Okay, and then we've got like talking of salvage. That's one of those things that is somebody else's baby and feature, has a massive impact on all of our ships. So the team have been kind of, Henry's been kind of like spearheading some of this stuff, has been working exceptionally hard in looking at all of our current ships that are in game, all of their damage and underlying damage messages were created for a damage feature that was worked on many years ago, and now we're like, well, that works for salvage, but some of it works great, some of it didn't, and so we're going through and for me, I love supporting new features. For us to kind of take all of the damage meshes and the UV2s on ships and everything and do them to a gold standard is years of work, and I don't want to be the person that's holding back a feature that could be really good fun for the sake of me being like, you kind of see through that bit, and then you kind of see through this bit. So we're going in, getting all the ships ready, getting all the UV2s updated. We're improving damage as we can go through.
I was talking to Lars the other day, and Lars was telling me.
Sorry, not talking a lot, just staying quiet so everyone can hear the Twitch video.
Yeah, he really pushed it forwards on that.
It was like the cutter is going to look really good when it's destroyed.
Yeah. So like,
I'm not sure that's the selling point.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by impacts our pipelines and
It's tech debt basically, and I mean that's a natural part of being in a project that's creating new features, right? Is, you know, the ships we made several years ago, they're not necessarily going to be fully compatible with these new features we drop. So, you know, that is tech debt, and that's sort of a part of development, right? And basically we just had to triage the ships and be like, these ones are.
That happens with every game. It's just not every game happens to be running a live environment right in the middle of this development. So it's not seen when it happens.
My ATC key's not working.
There it is.
Usually you have to pay off the tech debt before the game comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually.
And there's good kinds of tech debt, and then there's kinds of tech debt that you can avoid, right? But I mean, things like salvage, like, you know, we want the damage to look good anyway, so it's a pass that.
Yeah, the salvage work that necessitated all this was built off the damage system, which we introduced.
Oh boy.
Gladius.
Yikes, sorry, Bingo. That sucks, buddy.
2015, 2016. And
that sucks,
system hasn't
buddy.
really
Sorry to
changed
hear
since
that.
then. And it looked good for damage. Like when you're shooting another ship with a spaceship 100 meters away and you see the burn and the glow and everything come on. And when we looked at salvage, it was like, yeah, we've got a system, it works.
Yeah.
But then when you pressed your face up against it,
Yeah,
scraping
salvage
it with
device.
a thing, it's like, oh, actually, this technically works.
Yeah.
But it's not to the standard we want.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think as well, like as we've, you know, over the years, just, you know, you call it rot or just changes and stuff, like, you know, damage maybe hasn't been scrutinized as much because it hasn't needed to. And then when a feature like salvage is coming up, you know, then we sort of need to take stock of where everything is now and review it again and be like, you know, these ones probably want a bit of love, right? And then there's some that you're like, that'll work, you know. But it's not all going to be perfect for tier 0 salvage with hull scraping, but it will all work, you know, as a feature, and, you know, it will look better.
I was going to say,
I know it'll look
heard it
great.
here, Corey Bamford, it'll all work.
For the most part.
If it doesn't work, you can send your letters to Corey
Okay,
Bamford.
the ship damage will, for the most part.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Ship damage, you mean
My
the
spot,
visual damage.
visual-
I keep having to correct this. The visual damage.
the visual
Appreciate that,
damage
Jay
will
Bird.
almost
Appreciate
work.
it, man. That is true. That old thumbs up does help. It
Yeah.
really
And
does help.
The shader's had a bit of love, and we've created some new textures for it as well. So there's a little bit of visual polish that will
Less
benefit
tinfoil.
damage as well.
Yeah.
Less tinfoil.
Less tinfoily damage is now kind of it. Yeah.
On the plates.
Yeah, Dan's done a great job on the team of kind of, yeah, we've got issues that were ship specific, which means we have to touch every ship, and then we've got improvements we can make that are like ship wide, and the new shaders and the texture improvements and stuff that we've done kind of like affects all ships in one go. So that's a nice, good, you know, win. It's the, like I say, there is going to be cases where you salvage part of a ship and you might see.
I wish the landing icon would show up quicker.
It's still fun. Yeah.
We did our best.
Yeah. And then I guess we've done some work on resource management, and that's kind of like, we're in like prototyping phases and kind of getting stuff in.
Rotate our
working.
VTOLs down.
Yeah, but we're not at the point yet where that's like.
Come on,
actively
dude.
rolled
That
out
is
from
Star
shipping
Wars
and
as
stuff.
hell.
We're kind of like early days with that stuff.
Design's done their pass on it.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Ooh, this is some bad stormage here.
The only side
Does it
that
make it sound
matters.
like nothing?
Yeah. I think have I missed any?
I think that's all the ones we can talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, the ones that we can't talk about, you'll learn more about next week on ISC and towards the end of the year and into early next year. There's some cool stuff.
I'm a little catty
We're just
wampus.
about out of time
The
at this
weather's
point.
bad.
We've talked a lot about spaceships, the process of making spaceships, what we like about it, what we don't like about it. So
You're down.
Why? I want to go back to what's normally the first question here.
It's an existential question.
I want to ask you guys.
Are we talking about
personally.
spaceship stuff?
I want you guys to talk personally. You're not as representatives of CIG or your teams, but as you personally. Why do you make spaceships? This game, there's a lot to this game. It's not just spaceships. But why? What drew you to spaceships? Why do you stay in? Why did you leave?
Awesome,
props to go to
Josh.
spaceships?
Yeah,
Why don't
appreciate
you
it. I got
leave
that
spaceships
NASA
to
cup
go
for my
make
birthday.
Something else. Like
Here it is.
Why spaceships?
They're so complex that, for me personally, they're all
Yeah,
so
no
complex
problem.
that
We
every
hope to
single
update
one
the Fleet
feels
Viewer
like it's a
probably
puzzle that
tomorrow
needs to
with
be
both the
solved.
Cutter
and solving that
and
puzzle
the new Corsair.
is really satisfying. put it bluntly.
Yeah, I do too. That's the Hinterland paint.
Oh,
I really like it.
No, that's a good answer.
It's why I like doing the layouts of ships so much. Does it make sense to put a corridor there? Why does it not make sense to put a Jeffrey's tube in anything? Why does this ship need a rework?
Hey, Haggard. Hope you're well.
We're going to talk about Jeffrey's.
We're just storing our Corsair, and then we're going to go to the show floor.
For me, it started a very long time ago at my former job at a former company, and I was sat there one day, and a colleague reached out to me.
Right.
I'm working on this project with someone I can't talk about, and he's trying to put a 1 kilometre long spaceship in our engine with a full interior. And I was like, that's impossible. There's no way that could work. And he's like, well, here you go, here it is. And I was like, oh, it is possible. Cool, this seems like a fun thing. And then some months passed, and then I ended up here.
Only 1 kilometre.
Only 1 kilometre.
At that time.
As an old backer of the game, long before I worked here, for me it goes back to just the sense of adventure of going to space. Like, that's a very fundamental driving feeling behind being interested in spaceships. And then the second level, which makes Star Citizen particularly interesting to me, is that I'm also a physics nerd, and the realism and physicality of the game and how things work is just unbelievably satisfying.
All right,
You
we
get
are
this,
going
double
to head
hit
to
of
the
sense
IAE
of
event. Check
adventure,
out the
and
Drake offerings,
wonder of
including
going
the
to
Vulture.
space
I have not seen
with
the
this
Vulture in
feeling that
game
it's
yet myself.
oh, this could
I
actually
missed it
work.
on the last
And
event.
it's just so satisfying. It just feels really good.
Did you agree?
Yeah. I mean, I've been a long time fan of sci-fi and space games and space stuff, and coming to this company was a really exciting opportunity for me, and I had a really great time working on props and weapons. To be honest, I'd been on the props team for a very long time, and I kind of fancied the change, and this opportunity presented itself to me. And I've always really admired visually the spaceships in the game and how they work functionally. I find it just amazing. So for me, it was, a chance to sort of renew my passion in a way. You know what I mean? Like when you've been in.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it, man.
Quite a long time. You're like, don't get me wrong. I love props and that team.
Yeah, everyone. Thank you for all the support lately. It's been great. Don't forget, if you follow, subscribe, all that stuff on both Twitch and YouTube, you are automatically entered to win a Track IR system, which includes both the Track IR camera and the Pro Clip headset. It's what I use to get head tracking in game. You can see it here when I look around. I get full tracking. I actually think it's a little bit more accurate than Tobii Eye Tracker, my personal opinion. But yeah.
Going in with the bold statement.
All you gotta do is like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and you're entered. If you're entered on both, then you get a chance to
win. Ian, he's on the 8th floor.
Should I take off on the right one? Nope, I got off on the wrong one. No.
I think for me, I grew up watching Red Dwarf on VHS over and over, and then
Shipasta Vulture will come out in 3/18, which they've said is early December. That's all we currently know. Early December with the 3/18 patch. We do know that the Vulture is on Evocati right now being tested.
I was making racing games and that side of things, and the vehicle art was inspiring is one thing, but I think I am not lucky enough that I think I will make it into space. So this is as kind of close as I can get. Like my kids, they might, if they're lucky. I don't think I'm quite there, unfortunately. So getting that kind of that. Star Citizen for me is a game that I really want to play, and I want to have that exploration and
It's great to hear when the devs say they really want to play the game.
And exploration, and that to me is just a huge driving factor. The exploration of the unknown.
I severely need water, by the way. Just a minute.
That I was going to
There's water in here.
And she thought I was going to go and make spaceships.
Please tell me there's
some
damn
no,
water.
Sammy, I make video games. I do not go from making cars in racing games.
Oh, I think there's a
real-life spaceships.
There's a water thing up on the upper deck. That's right.
Real life spaceships.
The amount of people that contact me on LinkedIn thinking that I am actually
making
SpaceX. Real vehicles.
Oh, the amount of emails I get.
Thank you, VM. Appreciate it. Yeah, there is water upstairs at the coffee kiosk. I will grab that.
Your product. I'm like, what do you think I do? All right, so last question here. we always ask this at these things. If you could add one.
Appreciate everyone hanging out with me today.
Star Citizen, that spaceship that we haven't yet added yet, that you want personally for the game. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is your chance to pitch John Crew right now on camera. What would it be? Corey, we'll start with you.
Oh, why'd you start with me? I haven't decided yet.
Just imagine a countdown clock going down the back.
No pressure.
Why were you doing this to me? Just like me out.
Beautiful.
Because I didn't get to jump down your throat like I did.
Let's go get our drink
Yeah,
here,
fair.
everybody. Thank you for following Peppy
Spaceship or
Boy.
vehicle? Spaceship or vehicle?
Appreciate everyone hanging out tonight.
I
Today.
quite like non-combat ships, so I think just like I really like the idea of the colonizing ships,
I've got
like
a-
the naming.
Pioneer.
Yes, Pioneer.
Why am I
Something
wearing
like
this
that.
armor?
Pretty sweet.
Don't you, Mike?
I want to make, well, I'm going to keep pitching to John the idea of us making a giant ground vehicle base. That's what I want to see in game, so I'm going to keep asking John.
Is this
for
a
it.
movable base?
Yeah, a giant ground vehicle moving base.
Yeah.
So
Why
like,
isn't
think
that
like a
drinking all
giant
of it?
tank that has 3 floors on
Like
it.
a total Mad Max kind of.
I'm gonna litter
like a whole
everybody.
facility. They call it the Rolling Thunder.
What was that film came out recently? That was the Rolling City.
Mortal Machines.
Mortal Machines, like Mortal Machines style giant.
There
base.
is
Like,
the
that's what I-
Corsair, looking great.
Like an outpost on wheels.
Yeah.
How did you do?
So I don't know how the artists might enjoy working on a ship like this. However,
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I love the idea that exists in some sci-fi worlds of organic ships that are organic creatures.
Let's go.
And strange ways.
Let's
and
go
are
down.
Animated very fluidly and like smoothly. The sense of like wonder and strange newness from that is just appeals to me. And I'd like to see something like that out there for.
There's definitely space for more alien
Yeah.
ships in our universe.
Here's our
A
mule.
living organic ship, like the Cobra Law from the old G.I. Joe movie. The
like
original
that.
movie, the good one.
Yeah.
And what you got?
I think R2 or anyone.
There it is, the mighty Kraken, everybody.
You're special.
I own a Kraken, excited for it.
Traditional space rocket, just because I think it'd just be cool, right? Like proper circles on the side of it, big thrusters, takes off vertically, be cool. But I've been seen space sweepers and like their junker ships. Like for me, that's what our universe is missing. The ability to like it's not a manufacturer, and I've been talking about how important manufacturer identities are in it. It's not a manufacturer. It is people that do live in the kind of like the remote areas. Yeah.
There
like,
it is.
you get a
Beautiful.
duct tape and
Can't wait to have that ship in my hangar.
Scrappy challenge style, you know it. And I think like a ship that people have passed down through generations has been cobbled together with whatever they can find, and it might see a station once every 10
Dragonfly.
years, and it's really sort of.
I really want a Dragonfly yellow jacket. Does anyone know how I could get one of those?
It has a personality itself.
I want a yellow jacket, the yellow one.
What does that even mean?
You sat quietly for an hour just waiting.
Oh, it's over here,
The
right?
second I came in, it was like, Walsall Rock.
Oh, you mean like the classic? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the one from Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure if you ask Spaceman, you can draw your concept for
Is
it.
this like the kind of ship that a 7-year-old would draw?
Yeah.
Don't think they're coming back.
Yeah.
Figures.
It's a bold design.
Where is the vulture? Is that? Oh, right. They have another room. That's right.
One that's not on the backlog.
John already knows this.
Corsairs
I
looking
want,
good.
the thing that I want is I want the old space jalopy. I want a ship that isn't sold. You can't buy it in a store.
All right. Where
can't
do I
pledge
go
it.
for the vulture? Can anyone help me?
The old Hulk that you have to find and that you have to repair.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to go on
30K.
a 28-point mission, through
Is the
through
vulture
13
back this
different
way? I
planets
think so.
and locations and find the parts and basically reassemble this thing. And what you've got is not the fastest and not the most capable or anything. It's an old 200, 300-year-old spaceship. But
All right,
when
everybody,
you're
we're
done,
going to check out the Drake Vulture.
It's a status.
It's another
symbol.
ship
Things
I
like
own. I'm a big
put in
Drake
the work,
fan.
I put in the time, and it's a collector's item, and it's restored. It's like an old classic car.
There's our cutties.
Huh?
You ever played World of Warcraft? It's the Violet Proto Drake. You've been there, you've seen everything, you've done all the experiences, and at the end of it,
All 4 variants. Very cool.
Sure.
We're going to keep going
You
to
want people
Apex
to know
Hall
you spent 800 hours
1.
doing quest chains to get this less than optimal ship.
Yeah, but then because it's because
Damn it, where
when
is the,
people do
It is
restorations
less
though,
than optimal
they're all restorations are always
Oh,
done,
it's
like
in
every
Hall
57
5.
Chevy, it's
Thank
not
you.
exactly
Sorry,
like
sorry,
and stuff.
sorry.
So then there'd be some variations like it's like you got the blue door and you got the and stuff like that. That's what I would like a quest line ship, something that you have to.
Cuddy in Hall 4. Hall 5 is Vulture. Got it.
Through gameplay.
I can definitely get behind that.
Yeah, that's unique to you.
We come to John.
I suppose I was like, you can make whatever ship you
John,
want.
this is fair. He just gives us a brief and we have to do it.
There it is. There's
For
our
me, it's
cutters.
Sort of like Ben's. Like, I want to do.
We'll take a better look at those as well.
Either the original Zeus or like an Asperia recreation, which, if people don't know, it's the first RSI ship that could do a quantum jump and a quantum drive. I think they were notoriously unreliable, so there's a lot of them just scattered around the universe.
There it is. It's a bigger ship than you think.
We combine the ideas.
But it's just a really cool visual. It's like the old space plane.
Yeah. So what if it's restoring old Zeus?
I think I'm on this team now. It sounds better than mine.
I want to get as many ships as I can in the black and yellow.
panel at a time.
Using all the different gameplay systems, using salvage, using scanning, everything. It's
a bit at the bottom of every cave.
Some parts have to be manufactured. They don't make them anymore, so you have to go through manufacturing gameplay in order.
But you have to find the original blueprints that are some buying.
And you have to mine this material to get it.
derelict.
Like that. It can be a thing that ties everything else together.
Well,
so
is that next brief, John?
Let's go.
Right, get that one started.
And that's about it. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I do dig it.
For the time being, Star Citizen
Very
Live,
cool.
IAE,
Very cool.
2952,
I'm excited for the
all
Vulture. I'm excited for
spectacular.
Salvage, actually.
I don't remember the name I came up with at
Salvage
the
is
beginning.
coming. Very excited for it.
Remember, if you haven't check out Inside Star Citizen yesterday.
I love the look
where
of the
we
Vulture. I
revealed
just
the
love
Drake
how
Cutter, the newest starter ship.
how industrial
first
it looks.
From Drake Interplanetary, sponsors of this year's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which should be going on right about now, or if it hasn't launched yet, it probably launched by the time the show is over, whatnot.
We'll go ahead and close the Twitch video. Stand
and then
by.
remember, IE goes on all this week and into next week. We'll be back with Inside Star Citizen next week, talking about
All right. And then here is our Drake Cutter. Such a cool ship. I'm glad I bought one. I think it's a must-have. Great little A to B, get things done ships. If you just want to do some box missions, stream, have a good time, I think this is a perfect little ship. And at the $45 mark, that's perfect. Actually came in a little cheaper than I thought. It's like a mini Cutlass. So I dig it. Cool. There it is. We've seen a lot, everybody. We've seen a lot. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. Hopefully everyone enjoyed hanging out with me today for IAE. Obviously lots of big stuff. There's one more thing I wanted to watch. Let me bring that in to focus. There was a Corsair video released. I thought maybe we would watch that. All right, let's watch this and see how it is. Up, pause. We need higher resolution. There we go. Yeah, I think the Cutter might be the best starter in my opinion, Jaybird. For just general purpose, you know. Totally, Pappy. Great runabout for the Kraken. Great, like, surface to orbit ship for the Kraken. 100%. You could fit a lot on the Kraken, I imagine, too. I have not seen this yet. Is it? What is playing in? Stand by. What is this? Is that audio? Is the audio correct? Yeah, it's strange audio. I'm assuming the audio is playing correctly. The audio's got to be messed up, right? Let's go down for a minute. Is this audio correct? We're muted here. Oh, it's called ASMR. Okay, so this may be CIG's little joke. I get it now, Cheval. It's just confusing because I don't get the connection and CIG's never done it before, so, you know. Very interesting shots. They should make a Y-wing ship. I love these mountain ranges. Are these in Stanton or you think they're in Pyro? I feel like these mountain ranges are Pyro. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Arrow. I mean, like literally the Drake Corsair, but flipped on its side. I think that would be cool. And with two big Y outstretched wings would be cool. So a little different than the Tana. Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's got such a cool silhouette, like a lot of Drake ships. So, all right, everyone, that is going to be it for my coverage today. I had a blast hanging out with y'all. Thanks for putting up with me and sitting through the Drake stuff with me. Obviously, I think on Anvil Day, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff, as well as RSI Day. You're going to want to check back for that. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Really appreciate it. I got the sun blasting in on me, but hope you have a great rest of your day. Everyone in chat, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subscriptions, all that good stuff. Remember, by following on Twitch or subscribing on YouTube, you're already entered into the chance to win. Oops, let me put my thing up. You're already entered into the chance to win the Track IR headset. All you got to do is be part of those, and you have 2 chances to win actually if you do it on both. But I'll be giving that away. I'll probably also be giving away a ship later this coming early next week. But regardless, really appreciate everybody. Talk to you soon.